Well, hopefully by the end of the week, we'll all be melted and we'll be hopefully back to spring. If anybody needs a chair, there are a couple out here. Thank you who helped us shovel and plow this morning. I appreciate it. Kathy, I saw her. Thank you, Kathy, for coming in early. And I know Mike caught up. Tell him thank you as well. He came in and helped Mike and I this morning. So just wanted to give a shout out to the drivers that came in and helped. I don't have a whole lot of announcements this time. Aren't you guys excited? Kevin is going to come in, but not yet. Kevin's going to come in and do some announcements for us. But we're going to welcome 6 new drivers, and we're excited that 6 new drivers have come to join us. First one is Tim. He's right here. Stand up. Welcome, Tim. He's going to be doing some community and probably some else as well once he gets all trained in. And then we have another part-time, Dave Johnson is coming and he's doing community. Another part-time, Rebecca. I just saw Rebecca. And then our other part-time, she's out training, but her name is Heidi. So when you see another lady around, welcome her as well. And then we have 2 full-time drivers. We have Dustin, who is taking over Route 330 for Derek. Derek is no longer with us, so Dustin will be taking over that route, so he's out training with Mike. And then Kurt, is Kurt back yet? He went out training with Bruce. I don't see either one of them, so hopefully they're okay out there. Oh, there they are. Driver Kurt. So he's taking over 333, the one that we all know him as Gunner. So he's no longer with us as well. Okay, now we have some March anniversaries. And so we have a couple people that have been here with us for a year. Thomas DePaul, 1 year. Can you believe it? It's already been a year. And so he is one of our full-time sub-drivers who has just been wonderful. We so love having you come aboard. Thank you, Thomas. And I think you also did something else for Melanie will, the students guys get some up to you to see you on the 5-year. Okay, just want to make sure. And then a part-time, Amy has also been with us for a year, and she's been doing loops and all the wonderful community stuff. So thank you, Amy. There you go. And then we have a couple. Well, there's a 2-year. Stephanie has been with us for 2 years. Happy anniversary. 2 years. Thank you. And then we have Kenji, who's been with us for 3 years. Happy anniversary, Kenji. And then we have Lisa Putnam. Lisa, she's back there. She's been with us for 4 years. Thank you for And then we have a couple 5 years that are part-time that have been doing community and have just been wonderful. We have Don Brown, who has been with us for 5 years. And thank you, Don, for all of your service. Happy anniversary, 5 years. Dave, do I see Dave Bulty around here? He's also been doing community with us for 5 years. Thank you. And he has been doing. Oh, he's right in front of me. There you are, Dave. Okay, look at you. Oh my gosh, Douglas. You put that there for me to trip.
You don't see the tree can? You missed it.
I'm sorry. Okay, 9 years. This guy has been with us 9 years. And here's another subject. Here we are. he's a guy that I think he does a lot too for us. And then we have Miss Perry. She's been with us for 12 years. Thank you, Perry. Thank you for your service. So I'm going to turn it over to Kevin, one of our dispatchers. He's just got some dispatch notes that he wants to communicate with you. It's kind of nice to have a dispatcher come up and share some different things that they experience. We had one driver, Mike, who has been in the dispatch, that said that every driver should be in the dispatch once to see what these dispatchers go through, and it wouldn't be a bad idea. So, you know what? Give them some grace. As Brady talked about last month, dispatchers should get grace, especially on days like this when calls and everything is coming in. So thank you for wanting to give us some.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks for everybody making it in today after such a crazy weekend. So I just had some quick reminders for you guys, like at the sites and stuff when we're parking and waiting. Just remember to have your flashers on and you're using your turn signals. You know, especially waiting at Willow and at Commerce and stuff like that. I still, when I'm out there, I still see that we're not all doing that or having our lights on. It's we just want to be respectful too and make sure people know our intentions when we're driving around those sites or just being on the road. So just remember that. I think it's important too. We do represent new tracks, so we want to make sure we let everybody know that what we're doing out there. We were professional, and just I think that's important to do that. And just being respectful too, and to the other drivers around those sites. And there's no reason to be in a hurry over there when we're pulling in and out. I think it's about safety, and that's crucial for us, I think. So just remember that, to be respectful to the other drivers. And as a sub driver, I see certain things out there. I just want to remind us that just be mindful of your coworkers. And back to, regarding sub buses again, I know we mentioned this before, but just make sure we're fueling those up and we're putting the pucks back to where they belong on the bus. I know I still see some of them on the floor and some of the belts are still connected to them, which I don't understand that, but so just set those sub buses up for the next driver. Just put everything away, put the seats down, because they may be used for something other than what you just used them for. So we appreciate that, because I think, and just make sure that we fuel them up too. I think it's important we do that. Just again, just a reminder to be respectful to the next driver. And on the other thing too, you don't have to be afraid to wave to your fellow drivers out there. I like to do that, and I know some wave back, some are maybe missing a few fingers or so, but no, but at least they're waving back. But no, I think it's nice to respect our fellow drivers. I had to share something quick about doing bus Route 315 a week or so ago. There was a song playing on the radio, and I was singing along with it. And one of the riders said, "Who sings that song?" I said, "Well, Bob Seger does." And she said, "Well, let's let him sing that." I said, "Hey, wait a minute. I won a singing contest, so come on." Or I was runner-up in a singing contest. To remember, if you do call in and you're waiting for clients to come out, and if they do come out, let us know that they did come out, because we'll call and we'll keep calling, or we'll have to track down another number to reach that client. So if they do come out, just let us know quick that the client came out. Also, seating charts, if you can remember to update those. I know some are updated, but it really helps the sub drivers if you can get the seating charts updated. And if you need a copy of that, you can come to dispatch for that. especially with the wheelchairs and stuff, we have to know where those chairs go. It's kind of frustrating for the sub drivers, so continue to do that. Also, if there's notes on your route that we don't use anymore, or that they don't apply to you anymore, we can remove those notes, or we can add some. So if there's certain things that we do at a site that you think we should know about, let us know, and we can add those to the notes, because those help a great deal for us. Also, regarding the radios, talking to Bretta about, if you don't hear us on the radio or you don't understand, just go ahead and refresh your tablet. Usually it is an update for the tablet, so just refresh. And if you don't get an update on that, just let us know, and you can call in. But if you don't understand, just refresh your tablet, and you'll get the update that way. So. I think that was about it. I think regarding Doug's note too on velocity, just to be patient and be courteous. Again, no need to speed and rush, so we appreciate that. It really goes a long way at the sites when we take our time and be respectful. So with all the traffic and the waiting and stuff at the sites and the houses, we really appreciate what you guys do. I know it takes a lot of patience, and we get a little frustrated at times at some of these locations. So we really appreciate all the work you guys do. As a sub driver, I understand all that frustration at times. So thanks for all you do. I appreciate you listening. I know we've gone over this before, but it's just good reminders to make sure we're doing what we do. We're professional drivers out there, and we want to show that. So thanks everybody. Appreciate your time.
I was going to train on an exciting topic of sexual harassment in the workplace, but I scared all you guys. You're welcome. But it is coming up soon, so get set. I know you're excited about that. So instead, we're going to talk about, just going through training last week with the new drivers and talking about scooters. And I know we don't have any on our regular routes, our fixed routes, but you may come across, if you guys do a community run, you may come across a scooter. And I think it's really important that we review how to tie and secure a wheelchair or a scooter, because it is different. And if you have somebody who is on a three-wheel scooter, you certainly need to have them move into a seat. They cannot ride on that scooter when you are moving that bus or driving, because the top heaviness, it will probably tip over on you. I don't care how well you secure it down, because it is just so unstable. Now, there are a lot more four-wheel scooters that are coming into the community now, and yes, those are also top heavy. I know they have the 4 points of securement on them, but you should still really try to convince that person to move into a seat, because they also can be very tippy. So I have a video here that I'm going to have Doug run. And I'm going to stop it kind of in the middle of it, just because I want to just point out some different points.
Ready?
Yep.
With a three-wheel scooter, we're going to secure it slightly differently than we do with a wheelchair. So on the front side, we're actually going to bring the retractors more towards the middle, so they're closer together, because we've got just the one wheel here that we're going to secure around. And then we're actually going to, as opposed to on a wheelchair, we're parallel to the wheels of the back. On the back side, we're actually going to flare it out. And so the retractors on the front side of the scooter are going to go more together than they are on the back side of the scooter. We want those much closer together. So on a wheelchair, these will typically flare out over here, but on a scooter, they're going to be much closer together. On on the back side of the three-wheeled scooter, we're going to want to put the retractors out a little further. So you want to have these slightly angled on the outside of the wheelbase. So you see that right there, it's on the outside, and same case on this side. We're going to hold that all the way across. When those retractors are in place, this particular three-wheeled scooter is actually going to be slightly more difficult to secure. And so what we're going to use are our web straps right here. And with this web strap, we can actually get into some areas we wouldn't be able to before. And so we're going to move in underneath the base of this particular scooter right there. Get our web strap. Do the same thing on the other side. And then the retractors will hook up very nicely to that rubber loop right there. And same way on the other side. And then you'll use your web loop right here to go around the base of the frame on this side. And on this side, now you're going to run into the problem where you don't have quite enough room to be able to get this secured down because you've got quite a bit of slack here. So in this situation, we'll have the passenger will actually roll and reverse this a little bit. Look here a bit. And we'll hear it click a little bit. That way we've got enough there to be able to get these secured down. And we're going to crank those down.
So I just want to point out that,
Careful.
I put the cone there for a reason.
I just want to point out that your front tie downs, see where he is connecting that blue strap? It's around that neck part that comes down in the front. It's the steering wheel column for your scooter. And you're going to put these tie downs a little bit, they're not so much flared out in the front, they're more narrow right around in the front of the scooter. And then you're going to connect that blue strap to those tie downs. So let's move to the back. Now we're going to move to the back of the scooter.
And then they aren't going anywhere. Nice and secure.
Want me to go back?
Yeah, go back a little bit, Doug, sorry.
Greenie, we don't have narrow options on our buses. Our tie
That's
downs
true.
are where our tie downs
You're
are.
correct. You're correct because you don't have that kind of a tie down. I'm sorry, Beth. I forgot about that. Thank you, Mike.
Some of the buses we do.
Some of them are a little bit narrow.
Web straps right here. And with this
So
web strap, we
let's
can
just
actually
stop.
get into here. It's particular.
So you notice that he is going underneath the bottom of the seat because there's that post that comes down from the seat. And that's what you're going to wrap that around because not all the wheelchairs are going to have this bar here that you can put that blue strap on. But if you can wrap it around the bottom post of where this seat comes down, and then put your tie downs on that and bring them out to the corners in the back, that's going to stabilize that back for you. We're not crisscrossing these. We are not parking them to one side and bringing those because we don't have enough room. We're not going to bring those tie downs over from the other side of the bus because that you're just pulling that scooter over.
Are they using those blue
Yeah,
straps?
yeah,
Okay. I just wanna, this is what you're using, so you
Right.
know.
A lot of these new scooters have the built-in holes already.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Have the metal.
Yep, the scooters have come a long way, thank goodness, because they are giving you those anchor points on the back corners that you can secure these to, which is really nice. Because you probably won't even have to use these. But that's what these blue securements are for. You can manipulate them or you can put them in each other.
Show them how to use them. just because I can use my own.
So let's say this is like the back corner, or the back around the seat part, okay? So I'm gonna put this like this, and then I'm gonna loop this through here and make another loop like that, okay? You can even bring it inside and lengthen that out a little bit to make it a little bit longer. So you hold on to that one. Then you bring another one out and you can put it on this side. Okay, so now you have this coming out to the back corners, right? And you're gonna put your tie down hooks in these corners. Well, let's say that. The scooter's facing towards the back. Now, let's say this is the front, and this is the front, and your scooter's turning this way. Here's that front steering wheel column, right? And this is gonna come out like this. But, as you can tell, and because we don't sometimes have that option of bringing it this close, and it's out like that, that's still gonna make this wheelchair tippy, or this scooter tippy on top. And that is a reason why we have that person move into a seat. This is merely for just tying the scooter itself down and securing it, just like much we would do for an empty wheelchair, if you would.
If you ask them to move, they can't or won't, do we still let them sit there?
Well,
Technically, it's not
You,
safe.
you don't, it's not safe at all. So I want you to really emphasize to them, hey, this is for your own safety. We really need you, we don't want you to tip over. We've seen that happen before, and it's not a really good thing to happen to you. We don't want you to get hurt. This is our protocol. This is what we need to have you do. And I am trying to, oh Mike, watch out for the cord. Watch out for the cord. What did he say?
He's got glasses.
I do too, I have glasses. What we are trying to do, and I know that some people on scooters are a little bit bigger, a little bit larger, and maybe can't move. If they've gotten on that scooter, I know that they can stand up and move.
They had help. I have one
Well-
that was like that, and they had help in the nursing home, but that help is not with them.
Yeah.
They were not
So-
authorized to move.
You can offer their arm and be a stable help for it, and they can drive that scooter right up next to the seat, where it's gonna be a downward succession into that seat. Go ahead, Scott.
Is this a community situation?
Yeah, it was a while ago, yes.
So I would suggest if that comes up, we immediately call dispatch, and we can then get in touch with staff there to say, we have policy that we're not gonna be transporting this way. We do need for them to assist us if they have to come out there and help you. That's part of that staff. We should be able to ask them that.
Then what happens when you get to the site?
Get the person up there, get them out there. I think the biggest thing is, if they're wanting a ride and we can't do what we're supposed to do, we may have to have a tough talk with them that this is just not possible for us. But let's go to other measures first before we get to that total.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I had a lady on Thursday who I got her seated, but then she couldn't get up. So I had to do a fireman's lift. I had to stand up and pull her up to put her back in the seat.
Yeah, and I don't want you guys to be doing that either. And if any, I know. I don't want you guys hurting your back. So, in that case, I do think that we're thinking about writing up a release form for you guys also. So they can stay in their seat, but they need to sign a release form that releases you guys from any kind of liability. Thank you. Because I don't want you guys lifting these people up that are twice your size sometimes and hurting your back. So then what's going to happen? You guys get hurt. You're not going to be able to drive a bus. you know, then you guys are gonna be stuck. But I'm just gonna say that.
I know the answer.
Keep reading my mind. So if you have an instance like that where they are kind of battling you and saying, I'm not moving into a seat, you can't make me do that. You need to call dispatch and let them know what's happening so that we can be aware of it too. And so that we can support you guys.
And you know, in the hospital, there's a lot of things that we get that we don't get here, like as far as like, you know, there's a sliding board, you know, a little seat sliding board, and they can slide over, it's like standing and different things. It would be nice if we had a little bit more equipment to be able to learn to, you know, slide them appropriately, because you're right, I mean, there's people that we pick up that are like, ooh,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait, stand up, please, you know, it would just.
Right, and you do have transfer belts that could help you. I don't want to start getting too much equipment on the buses, and then where are we putting it, where are we storing it?
But I mean, the sliding board's a little stick like this, it's not like a big giant.
I can look into those, actually, yeah. I'll look into those.
And if there are things, if there are things that you think would be helpful, since you're doing a lot of this community transportation as well, that we should be aware of, please bring them to our attention. We'd love to look into those things, so that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Any kind of suggestions or ideas, please bring them to us, okay? Yes, Mark?
So the routes, we don't have problems because nobody's in, you know, this stuff. But when we start doing loops, it's like, you get everything, you know, you get, so
Yep.
is there a vetting process to say, hey, maybe you can't ride the bus unless you can get in and out of a chair?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what Scott says. I'm sure that when his presentation, when he talks to these places, he covers all that and says, you know, this is our policy, you know, you need to move into a seat, blah, blah, blah. And not quite all the stuff that he talks about, but I'm sure he touches on that at these places.
The only problem that comes up with that is that I'm not in these buildings every month. And so new people move in, new people move out, they may not have heard that message. So the best you can do is, first of all, when they come to you and say, well, I can do this on Metro Mobility, we need to make certain that in as polite a way as possible, here's our policy. And this is what we do for our safety. If it becomes something really big, Mark, please bring it to my attention. I'll make contact with the building. We'll
But-
try to
Call this back.
Metro Mobility, you gotta get a doctor's okay to ride the bus. So obviously, that issue's been covered, right?
Well, but part of the issue is Metro Mobility will allow three-wheeled scooters on. And they'll say, well, Metro Mobility allows me to do that. And that's where we try to draw the line on the three wheels.
So, the thing I just want to add is, ultimately, you guys are in charge of the bus. Right? And if you are being asked to do something that you don't feel is safe, what we ask you to do, and we don't want you to be the bad person in this situation, let that be the organization. So if someone's coming out and asking you to do something that you don't feel is safe, that's when you contact dispatch and say, okay, I'm at so-and-so location, this scooter, this wheelchair, whatever, and we're talking scooters right now, so that's going to be in community rides. If it's a wheelchair at one of your sites, it's the same thing. If there is something that doesn't seem safe, we don't want to put you in that situation. That's when you call dispatch, you have the conversation, and then you let dispatch or management contact the site or the senior location to have that conversation and be the one that say, no, we're sorry, we don't want to put our drivers in a situation where we're transporting someone that's not safe. You do have that ultimate control, and why we so often say, please call dispatch, is because we don't want an antagonistic situation between you and a rider or you and a site. And that's why it's so important to let dispatch or management start having that conversation. Because the last thing we want is on a bus or at a location for there to be a back and forth between you, the driver, and a rider or the senior place. So please, please contact dispatch. And if you don't feel safe having someone on your bus because of the wheelchair or the scooter, let dispatch know, and they'll let Patty or Mike or Reenie or Scott or someone know as soon as possible so they can intervene.
So, for loop drivers, we go to the grocery store and pick up all kinds of groceries for folks. And they get paper bags. So you put them on the floor and the bags break. And now you've got cans rolling around on the floor. What I tell my people is, if you're gonna get on my bus and you're gonna have food, you're gonna put it in a plastic bag. I realize for you environmental types that the plastic bag is not a good thing, but in reality, if you don't have them in plastic bags, those paper bags can break, and that stuff will go flying all over the place. So what is there a protocol for that, or could we have a protocol? How do we handle that?
We don't currently have a current protocol, but what you could do, do you tell these guys that before they go into the thicker groceries?
Yes.
Perfect. That's all you really need to do is mention to them, hey, I know you guys are going shopping, but just remember that, paper bags break. So if you can you please grab a plastic bag so that we can put that paper bag inside and give it an extra reinforcement.
Maybe they could bring their own bags.
They bring their own bag too, if they, we have all those canvas bags that everybody has. Absolutely, you can do that also.
And if there's room, either on the seat or wherever you have a tie down, I always put it through the loops of the bags.
Right, yeah, for
Yeah.
plastic ones.
Yeah.
Paper
Well,
bags are
even
small.
the paper ones, or put it around and another one, I mean, it's not great.
Yep, Mark?
Scott made a great point. We're talking about electromobility again.
Yep.
Bag limit. Our people bring 8, 9 bags. Like a bag. What's our bag limit?
When I'm
Bring
presenting,
it, I need it.
Yes,
What's the bag
nice.
are you
limit?
ready to hear me?
I'm ready. All right.
3 to 4 is what we say, and we remind everybody that the more bags you bring, the later it's gonna be to get you home, and everyone else is gonna not be happy about that, so.
So you tell them 3 or 4.
We do.
So,
But again, I'm not in these buildings every single month, so our drivers can do that gentle, friendly reminder.
You can easily identify your bag from one other bag.
absolutely.
Because you've got a bunch of all these white plastic bags.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
sit there, well, that's mine for the, that's your bag, that's your bag,
Yeah.
that's your problem.
Yep, so again, 3 to 4 bag limit for these loops, okay? Because if we get too much on there, it's gonna delay getting us all
Can we put a
get
sign
going.
on us that says that?
We could get a sign, we get some signage going for you guys and just make sure that.
That might be a great idea.
Yeah.
I have a lady that wrote last week, she had bought 3 bags of cancer,
Oh,
a bag of dog food, a case of water, and she had like 5 bags of
you had a good workout that day. Yes, ma'am. One more last question.
When I used to do the loop a lot, I had those brown boxes, and I would put the bags in the box so that they didn't roll around, so that I kept them separate from each other, because then that way I knew, okay, the woman with blue hair has all of these. The woman with gray hair has all the Gatorade. Because that's another thing, is you make some people's groceries, they're not happy to eat it. But I had the big brown boxes, and I bought them myself, and I put them in the box. But that was when I would grow loops all day long every day.
Yeah.
Reenie, if I could just, when we get, within the next month or so, Trevor and I are gonna be training all of our community drivers again. We will talk about loops, we look for your suggestions, we'll have these discussions then. Just make as great a decision as you can until then, and if it's something that's egregious or that needs to be changed, let me know. If we have some real offenders that are not listening to anything that you're saying, let me know, and I will contact the buildings.
Okay, so I do want to talk about troubleshooting including your lift also, because we've had some problems with that lately. So, do I have a video of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like the video first?
Yes, please.
You want me to start at minute
I
25?
got one, yeah.
If there's a situation where you're going to need to operate it manually, they're typically on one side of the housing here. You will find a bar with kind of a yellow handle to it, right there. And you notice it has some notches on the end then as well. And so if you are ever needing to lower the lift without power, you can find those notches, and with about a quarter of a turn, you're going to make that turn, and you'll notice that the lift is starting to go down at this point. You don't want to go much further than that because you'll start leaking fluids. So just a quarter of a turn is all you need. It starts going down. Now, if you're ready for a workout, this is the manual hand pump too, and this will actually go the other way, making sure that that's closed. You can slowly work the lift up. Like I said, this will take a long time if you're going from the bottom to the top, but it will take it all the way up. And this one you'll want to make sure is level at this point, because if you keep pumping, it will start to fold that lift up in this situation then as well. And then we always want to make sure we put that back. And so that goes back in the storage area right back here.
I know videos are to hear in spots, but in your books, you guys have this cheat sheet that helps you, okay?
I'll pull it up.
He's gonna pull it up on, did you pull it up on there?
Uh,
So I'm just gonna read some of this.
This one? Or the other one?
The other one.
Of course. There we go.
Get it? Okay. So, the first thing you're gonna do is check power on your lift, right? And how do you do that? The switch on the box itself, correct? And check for your lights on your lift should be working. That's how you know you got power to your lift. All right? What else do you do? Okay, so those lights are not on. You don't have power to your lift. Now what do you do? Yep, you gotta check to see if your emergency brake is on. That is key, that your lift is not gonna work unless you have that emergency brake on.
It's just also in the park.
Yes, your bus should be in park, yes.
No, sometimes they don't,
Some of them
they
will
don't
do it,
engage,
you know.
it's just in park.
Okay, all right.
Please
All
try
right, and you also will have a toggle switch on your dashboard, right? Make sure that toggle switch is on. Just leave it on all the time. Don't ever turn it off. It doesn't drain anything from the bus battery or anything. Just leave that toggle switch on so you don't have to worry about it. I know sometimes it gets bumped, but just check that.
That's the one with the handicap.
That's the one with the little handicap sticker or wheelchair on it, saying that it's a wheelchair toggle switch, okay? Also, if, let's see here.
Where's the other power switch?
The other power switch is right here. Can you see this power switch thing right here? The little switch right here.
Back by the left.
Needs to be, it's when you're looking in on the lift from outside, it's right here. You gotta make sure that's on. Okay? All right, so let's say it's still not working. You guys are gonna have to do it manually. Woo-hoo, we all love to do that in a degree.
One greedy hour.
Yes?
Missed the shaking.
What's that?
The shaking.
Missed the shaking part.
The shaking part.
If it has power, you unfold it and sometimes it'll stop. So then you gotta
Right.
push it
That's,
back
yep.
and shake it.
Yep. That's not, yes. That's something that you're probably gonna find out if you're trying to deploy your lift for the first time anyway. So what they're talking about is when, just a minute, Scott, I'll right with you. If you're opening your lift and you're trying to bring it down and it's not working, hit the fold button, thank you, and just push up on the lift as you're pushing that button, okay? And that will tighten up the lift, it'll tighten up your hydraulics, and then your lift should come down. Okay?
You'll know because the lift will go like this, and then test the lift.
Yes, if your lift is coming out crooked, or just stuck,
One of the latches is up on it.
one of the latches, you have to make sure those latches are up on it, okay? So just push on the bottom of the lift, you don't have to crank on it or anything, just give it a good push while you're hitting the full button. Yes, Eric?
Just make sure when you push it, open palm it, don't wrap your hand around that, because that thing goes up and you can open palm it.
Open palm it when you're pushing on it, okay? All right, so, yeah, oh, Scott, I forgot about you, sorry.
So I learned this from Amy a few weeks ago after I had to manually do my lift. There's a fuse box. And my fuse was popped. And all I had to do was reset the fuse in my bus, and my lift worked.
Okay,
After I pumped all the way.
that's great, that's great that you knew what.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Right.
It might be that particular bus now, all the buses will have this, will
Right.
act the same, so,
Yeah.
again.
But that would be nice
Yeah.
to know, like,
Yeah.
after I can pump all the
Do our dispatchers know that?
The dispatchers know it, so if you're having problems with your lift anyway, you're gonna call dispatch and let them talk you through that, and they can help you with that, okay? So, yep,
That's right, I did that, but I didn't get it, so. I didn't know that.
And I don't know if the dispatchers know that, because I didn't know that.
Right.
So we need to let those dispatchers.
right.
Yeah. So I.
And if you don't know, the thing is with that is if you open up that fuse box, there's a lot of different fuses in there. Not a lot of people are mechanically inclined, so I hate for you guys to start pushing fuses and undoing them and then you have more problems. But, yeah, that's a good point. Okay? Thank you, Scott. So you guys are gonna take this weapon here. There's little notches on the end of this stick that you are going to put. Do you have a picture of this?
Yeah, I'll
Right
make
here.
it bigger.
Here,
Right there.
inside your bus now, okay, guys? So you're going to put this up. No, we're not going up yet. We're going
Follow along, please.
We're going to take these little notches and we're going to put it right here. She's got my little thing. And you're going to turn it. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, as my mama always told me. So you're going to turn it to the left a little bit. Not a whole lot. You don't have to open it wide open, just a little bit, and you'll see that your lift is going to start going down. You're releasing the hydraulics. Okay? When it gets to the bottom, make sure you turn it to the right, because if you don't, you already have your hydraulics wide open now, and ooh, that cord is there. And you can pump till the cows come home. It's not going to come up. So turn it to the right, tighten up those hydraulics, and then get your wheelchair on there, and you're going to have to go back in and start pumping. Scott's favorite thing to do. So, and it goes up about hardly any, so you have to pump a lot. So, pump, and this is where you put it in the top one now. You're gonna put it in there. I have a little, it's gonna look like this, okay? You're gonna insert that in there, and it's gonna just start pumping, okay?
Sometimes when you turn it, the power comes back on.
Yeah.
So then you can use your.
Yeah, so keep watching for your power to come on, you guys, because sometimes you get a switch in the lift, there's a bunch of switches, and it will come back on, so then you can use your lift. Okay? Mike?
On the new buses, the last bunch that we got, if you let your lift down in the back end or closest to the bus is lower than the toe, it won't go up. You have to go in and give it about 3 pumps to get it up and level again. People get nine.
Cool, cool, cool.
Because it goes past level and the sensors
Yeah.
get thrown off and they say, nope, on dispatch.
So get to know your lifts, you guys, you know? And get to know where your switches are, yes.
One last thing that I've done, when the lift doesn't work, turn the bus off, turn it on again, that works.
Yep. If all else fails, you're going through your checkoff list here. Maybe just turn your bus off and on. That's what my old boss used to tell me. If your computer doesn't work, turn it off, turn it back on. Maybe it just needs to be reset. Simple as that. Okay?
Do we have those checkoff lists?
Yep, these are in your bus book. But you can also call dispatch and they will help you also. And what they're gonna do is they're just gonna run through this list. Okay? All right.
Okay.
All right. I believe that's all I have because this pizza's smelling really good.
Hey, Ricky,
Yes.
can I say one more thing?
Yes, you
What?
can.
I know we're not pizza, but I just want to, just real quick, welcome the new drivers on board, but also just if you are running late, just call dispatch and we'll call ahead for you, and don't stress out about it, because I know that if we're on a time, you feel like you're on a time crunch, but some of those delays you can't help, so just let us know, we'll call ahead for you, and just take your time and get to the site or to the house safely. So remember that, don't stress out about running behind schedule, just let us know and we'll call ahead for you. So welcome aboard to the new drivers. Thanks, guys.